on Twitter.
Ooh.
I was fooled by a story, and maybe it was me like reading too much into the headline, and people have accused me of doing that to other people, so it got me. So maybe I deserve this pain. But Sean Ross Sapp earlier in the week put out a story. The headline read something to the effect that TNA asked to see if AJ Styles could be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and WWE denied it. And in the body of the story, like I did read it, and that was the case, but it wasn't like a malicious thing. It was like, kind of like he's doing an injury angle right now, and they just weren't really interested. He's been off TV, but he ended up sending in a video for Bob Ryder's induction, so he was kind of on the show. Him and there were several WWE and AEW stars that were in that video for Bob Ryder, which I think is actually really cool. For TNA to be able to do that. Agreed. For Bob Ryder's family. So he was on it. It wasn't like a malicious thing. People took it as that, and by people I mean myself. And I was like, what a weak ass move by WWE to deny AJ Styles from going into the Hall of Fame. And several other people were saying similar things. So AJ actually clarified and said it wasn't WWE, it was me. I just don't want to go into a Hall of Fame right now. I'm still active.
I get it.
And I'm like, oh shit, that actually makes sense. So kudos to AJ for clarifying. Sorry. No, I'm not actually sorry to WWE, but yeah, I got. So my bad, everybody. I got.
Let me throw something at you. Do you believe AJ?
I do. Sean Ross Sapp even updated a story with the clarification. I think he believes AJ. And in the body of the story, it didn't even come across as anything nefarious. If you actually read it and understood it. I actually, it actually makes sense. And it would have been nice to see him go in, but he says he doesn't want to go into any Hall of Fame. No TNA, no WWE, no nothing until he's actually done wrestling. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Now I did have some arguments, not fun arguments, I would say, fun, healthy debate with some TNA fans who seem to think that AJ Styles is going to work a match in TNA while he's in a contract with WWE. And guys, that's not going to happen. And they said, well, AJ got a chance to go to Noah. I don't want to be the one to break the news to you guys. I'm pretty sure Noah paid WWE for the rights to have AJ Styles on their show, just like they're probably paying for the rights to have Shinsuke Nakamura on their show upcoming, and like they did for when Nakamura wrestled the Great Muta back in last year or the year before, before he retired. I think Noah's actually paying WWE money to have that, and TNA is not going to do that.
Noah's running big stadiums, right? Like they run Nippon Budokan, they run Sumo Hall, they run Korakuen, like they run shows in places. TNA runs small venues, like they don't, and they're selling, right? They're selling tickets with their guys. Noah needs to juice their houses a little bit, so they're willing, and with that Abima money, they're willing to pay. And Anthem, quite frankly, doesn't have to, so it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
I would love to be wrong about that, because I do think that would be cool to see AJ in TNA one more time, kind of do like a farewell match to the company, because the way he exited the company was not great.
No.
Like losing to Nick Aldis, in the Impact Zone, the way that he did, like on the way out, it just the whole thing sucked.
I choose to believe that AJ's last appearance was that time he actually left the show and drove away, and that was it. And then he came back. I choose to believe that was how AJ left the company. It's a much better story that way.
Yeah. But look, TNA, I will give them credit. They're actually trying to make big moves in 2025. TNA Genesis, so they got rid of Hard to Kill, which was a Don Callis thing, because Don Callis, like myself, Steven Seagal fan. So that's why they have Hard to Kill and they have Under Siege as pay-per-view names. So they got rid of they got rid of Hard to Kill, and they've brought back Genesis, which was the OG January pay-per-view that they used to do. And it's actually going to be in the Curtis Culwell Center in Dallas, Texas, which is where AEW runs when they go to Dallas. Ring of Honor had a couple of their pay-per-views. The AEW version of Ring of Honor sold a lot of tickets. I think that's a 7,000 seat venue. And I think last time Ring of Honor was in there, they did almost 2,000. So, they just did 3,000 in Detroit, which was really good. And if they can, do 2,000 to 3,000 for that. And then you're going to find this fucking hard to believe, considering you did a TNA podcast for a while and you were with me in the dark ages. TNA is going live on Access TV from the Boeing Center 4 days after Genesis. So they're actually going to go live from San Antonio, right down the road from Dallas, Texas, in the Boeing Center, where they just did 2,000 people for Victory Road. They're actually gonna be live on Access TV. It's gonna be the first live episode of Impact since they've been on this channel, but probably going back 10 years.
I was gonna say probably since Hogan and them were around. Boy, running live TV is tricky, and Anthem does a lot of mess up stuff when they have the taped version. So I am about this, but just about. Sorry, having a rough internet night tonight. Live TV is hard. Let's see.
Yeah. So they're not going live weekly though. I think they're just doing like looks like it's a test run to go probably start going live on Impact after pay-per-views and do bigger venues on pay-per-view or do bigger venues for pay-per-view. So when they do 2 nights in the same city and with bigger venues, it doesn't really look good for the tapings afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Detroit, they sold 3,000 for Bound for Glory. They papered the house for the night 2 tapings. Like Joe Hendry and Jeff Hardy were handing out tickets at the Pistons game. And they got people to the taping. They did like 1,500 for the tapings, and it's apparently it's going to look pretty good on TV. That was a report that I got, but so that's always pretty tough. So I've always been of the opinion that they should try to do another city after a pay-per-view for the Impact taping, and it looks like that's what they're doing. So they're going to go live, and then they'll do a taping afterwards, and then on Friday night they're going to do 2 more tapings to get to bank a month of TV shows in San Antonio after the pay-per-view in Dallas. I think that's a good strategy. I'm of the opinion that they should probably look into that studio for their live shows. You know what I mean? Like go to Full Sail University or something like that instead of running bigger venues for their TV. But maybe they have something on the hook. Maybe they have plans. I don't know. You know, they legit think that this Joe Hendry thing is going to be like their Cody storyline.
Maybe. It's a little bold, in my opinion, to think that. I thought WWE was bold to stretch out. Worked. Big gamble, but it worked. I think Full Sail would be a great place for anyone to run tapings because it's already wired up. Like Full Sail is a media college, right? Like they're training kids to have jobs in the media. So they have like the best of the best stuff as far as things go. And for working with NXT all those years, they have the facility set up. I think you'd be I think every company should be trying to run Full Sail, quite frankly.
Yeah. Same here. I think that's a great venue. But hey, guys, sorry we didn't go the full hour, but that is going to do it for us this week. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, JD.
I was going to ask about Chris Bay. We were going to talk about Chris Bay. I want to know.
I don't
know a lot.
Yeah. So at the Impact tapings on Sunday night, Chris Bay was wrestling the Hardys. So it was ABC versus the Hardys in the main event. And Chris Bay, I believe, went for a cutter and it was reversed into a neck breaker. And so with Matt Hardy reversed into a neck breaker and it legit broke his neck. And I did get a report that while Bay was down, Jeff Hardy came off the top rope and hit him with a leg drop. So I can't verify that. That was just from somebody that was there, said that while Bay was down, Jeff Hardy hit him with a leg drop and then they did the pin and then he got stretchered out and then with the neck brace. Apparently Hardy just didn't know that he was hurt. Yeah. So he had gotten hurt on the neck breaker and then Hardy hit him with the leg drop. And so that ended the match. He got stretched out. He legit broke his neck. He went into emergency surgery. TNA has given a couple of updates. Apparently he's doing great. He's in good spirits. He's been FaceTiming his friends. He's been communicating with everybody. He's still in Detroit as far as I know. And hopefully, you know, God bless. He's great, by the way.
Oh yeah. Fantastic.
I've always been a big fan of his. You know, in 2019, when this is before our podcast, Rich Swann was the world heavyweight champion, and Rich Swann and Chris Bay actually headlined a pay-per-view. Now, nobody saw that pay-per-view except me because I was doing my articles, but you know, he seemed like he was going to be a big main eventer for them one day. It didn't quite happen that way. You know, he was able to get some X Division titles under his belt, and then him and Ace Austin have turned into a great tag team called ABC, and they actually went and worked Junior Tag League, you know, in New Japan. And I think when they came back from that, they were better than they were. And they've had a couple of tag team titles. They just closed the show Bound for Glory with the freaking Hardy Boys. You know, they were really on their way. And so it sucks to see this happen to a good talent like Chris Bay, whom everybody seems to really, really like as a human being. And so I just hope the best for him, man. And I just thoughts and prayers go out to Chris.
I just wanted to have an update. I'm glad you were able to get that.
Yeah. So, but yes, guys, thanks to everybody for being here. That is going to do it for us this week on the Mike and JD show. Again, apologize for not being live, but we were able to crank out a show. Happy Halloween, everybody. And until next time, mahalo.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from